Hi guys, it's Ali. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be reviewing products from the Princess and the Frog collection from the brand new I Heart Revolution collaboration with Disney. So if you guys want to see the products that I picked up, as well as how I achieved this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. So as I just mentioned, I Heart Revolution just did a collaboration with Disney, and we had 3 collections launched. We had a Cinderella collection, a Beauty and the Beast collection, and the Princess and the Frog. I did pick up products from the Princess and the Frog collection and the Beauty and the Beast collection. I didn't pick up anything from Cinderella because none of the products in that collection appealed to me. I didn't feel like they would go well with my skin tone or complement me, and I just really wasn't a fan of them all that much. The collection that I got the most out of and will be the focus of this video will be the Princess and the Frog collection. I will be doing a review on the Beauty and the Beast collection, but that will be in a separate video. So if you guys do want to see that, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and you hit that bell notification button so you don't miss when it launches. But like I said, we are focusing on my favorite Disney princess today, Princess Tiana, and her collection, so let's get straight into it. So like I mentioned before, each collection had 4 pieces in it. We have a lip topper, a pair of lashes, a highlighter, and the palette itself. I did pick up 3 of the 4 items from this collection, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the lashes because I'm already wearing them. So here is what the lashes look like. I will insert a picture over here of what they look like in the package as well for anyone who wants to see that. They are very, very lightweight. I can almost not feel them, and they don't irritate my eyes like some of my other lashes do. They are £8, and this is the packaging that they came in. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. It's very uniform. All of the Princess and the Frog packaging is this green and gold theme, and they all say real dreams come true somewhere on the packaging. So this is the eyelashes. The next product I picked up will come as a little bit of a surprise to anyone who watches my channel and has seen my videos before. I am not a lip topper person. I don't like how they look. They're too shimmery for me and they're very unflattering. But when I saw this one, this is what it looks like. Something about this made me buy it. Like, I felt like the color looked very universal and it would look flattering on any skin tone, and it wasn't doing too much. And honestly, you guys, I was right, which I am so happy about because I don't like wasting money. So I am going to go ahead and do a swatch for you guys. So this is what the Tiana lip topper looks like. It actually reminds me of the Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb just a little bit. It's a little bit more gold than the Gloss Bomb, but in terms of color wise, that is how it looks. I am wearing it on my lip right now, but I do have a lipstick on, so I'm going to take it off and reapply just so you guys can see what the lip topper looks like on its own. It literally just looks like a lip gloss, and I am so obsessed. It isn't sticky at all, and it glides on so nicely. And you can literally just layer and layer it on without it becoming unflattering, if that makes sense. And it does have little glitters in it, but you can't really feel them. You can feel them a little bit, but it's nothing that's bothersome. And the smell, I think there's a hint of vanilla in it. So that is how the topper looks like on its own. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it like this because I do put on the lipstick later on in the video anyway. So we're going to roll with this from now on. But this is the lip topper. And this is the packaging that it came in. Again, that uniform and real dreams come true printed on there. And this retailed for £5, which I think is really good considering how good quality it is. I really, really like the lip topper. So now we're going to go into the part that I'm sure most people clicked on this video for, and it is the palette. So this is what the palette looks like on the outside, and all of the palettes retailed for £15. I did have a discount code, however, so I think I paid $12 for the palette. But there it is. It just says the Princess and the Frog on it, and it has a picture of our girl Tiana on there, and the back of the packaging also just says The Princess and the Frog, and once again it says real dreams come true. I just really like this. I think this one and the Beauty and the Beast one, they just look so nice. To be honest, the Cinderella one as a packaging also looked really nice. I just couldn't get on board with the color story. Speaking of color story, we are going to go ahead and take a look at this palette on the inside. So this is what it looks like on the inside. It's similar to the Nightmare Before Christmas in the sense that it is a book style palette. However, here we do have some face products on this side as well as eyeshadows on this side, which I think is great because it's sort of having everything you kind of need in one palette. So we do have 3 blush shades, 3 highlighter shades, and then 18 eyeshadows. And look at that color story. I think looking at it, it kind of looks random, but once you look at all the shade names, and if you've seen the film, then every single color makes sense. And that's what I love about this palette, is that it's very true to theme. But I'm not going to spend too long talking about the palette. We're going to go ahead and get straight into the swatches. And we are going to start with the blushes. So I'm just going to go top down, and we're starting with this pink shade here. And this is Almost There. And then we have a sort of mauve colour, and it is called Promise. And then right at the bottom we have Mardi Gras, which is a sort of orangey type blush. So these are what the blushes look like. They are very pigmented. I can see that just by looking. But I'm not really a powder blush fan, so this isn't really like right up my street. But colour wise, I think they are very flattering. One thing that I will say about the palettes that I kind of noticed as I was browsing is I do feel like the individual palettes were sort of geared to specific skin tones. Now, I don't know if that's the angle that Revolution were going for, and I don't know if I'm literally clutching at straws here, but I felt like the Cinderella palette catered to light skin tones. The Beauty and the Beast palette was more of a medium skin tone range, and then the Tiana palette kind of catered more towards deeper skin tones. And you can kind of see that in the blushes and the highlighters. If you have a look at the Cinderella palette and the Beauty and the Beast palette here, the colours of the highlighters and the blushes don't really look like shades that someone of my skin tone would pick up or that would really suit us. This is just my personal take. Let me know what you guys think. But that's definitely how I felt, which is probably why I ended up picking up more of the Princess and the Frog collection. I don't know. I could just be talking out of my head. I don't know. So those were the blushes, and now we're going to do the highlighters, and we're starting with this shade, which is Tiana's Place. And we have Archidanza. And finally we have New Orleans. So that is what the highlighters look like. Honestly, they're not amazing to me. I do feel like they're a little bit on the ashy side, but I genuinely have a problem with the powder highlighter formula that Revolution uses. I've never really looked at these highlighters and been blown away. And granted that I felt like this is the palette that suited my skin tone the most, I do still feel like these shades are going to pull a little bit ashy on me. Might be able to get away with New Orleans, but still I think the undertone of them is this powdery ashiness that I think is quite unforgiving. I'm just going to sort of sheer all 3 out. As you guys can see, these don't look like highlighters. I don't know what else to say. But that's just my personal opinion on these. I'm sure there are people out there that disagree, but I am not a fan of this at all. So that was the entire left side of the palette swatched. We are going to go ahead and get into the fun part, so the eyeshadow swatches. And how I'm going to swatch this is I'm going to go across each line like this. I'm just telling you because I'm not going to hold the palette up every time. So we are starting off with the shade Evangeline. Then we have Lewis, Ray, Lily Pad, Gumbo, Tiana, Naveen, Bayou, Shadowman, trust Shadow Man to be one of the nicest shades in the palette. Like, are you kidding me right now? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Swamp, Frog, Kiss, Beignets, Magic, Voodoo, LaBeouf, Witch Doctor, and finally we have Mama Odie. So this is every single shade in the palette swatched. That is what they look like. I think looking at it, even on my arm, it looks like a very fun color story to play with. There are definitely some standout colors in this palette, like there always are for me. If you are someone who is familiar with my personality and the type of colors that I like, then this won't come as a surprise to you. But the ones that are screaming at me right now are Shadow Man, Kiss, Voodoo, and Frog. These colors look absolutely amazing. I think they're the ones that my eye was most drawn to when I saw the palette on the website. The other ones were a bit too muted out for me, not really my style, but as a palette and as a concept they worked. I definitely wish some of these shades up here were a little bit deeper, but I do really like how the colors match their titles. Sometimes colors and their names don't really make sense to me, but this palette, it makes all the sense. Like literally it makes all the sense. Shadow Man is purple, Tiana is green, Naveen is that mauvey color, Lewis is a shimmery green. The formula, once again, I'm obviously gonna have my issues with. I have seen a lot better from Revolution and I do expect a lot better from them as well. This is pretty much identical to the Jack Skellington palette from the Nightmare Before Christmas collection. The formula literally feels exactly the same to me, which is kind of why I'm glad I didn't pick up the Tiana highlighter, because I knew that I wasn't going to like it if it was anything like the Misfits in Love highlighter from the Nightmare Before Christmas collection. But anyway, the shadows themselves, the pigment of the deeper colours is so nice. I do like that. It's the formula that lets it down for me. That powdery formula just isn't my cup of tea. I don't know if I can ever really fully get on board with that, unless it's the matte shades. The matte shades have this creaminess to them and they're very nice and easy to work with. But the shimmery shades, I just wish it was a different formula. That's all. Just a different formula and it would literally be my dream palette type situation. But we can't have it all, and I've talked about the eyeshadows for too long now. I am going to go ahead and show you guys how I did this look. I was kind of going for the dress that Princess Tiana wears. That's what inspired the colours that I am wearing today. I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial and the rest of the video. I'm taking my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Chestnut as my primer today. And I'm just going to pat that on with my beauty blender. The base shade I'm using for this look is just this green one over here, and it is called Swamp. It's sort of like a minty looking green, but this is the shade that I'm packing into my crease. So I'm taking it above my crease as well and into sort of the brow bone area. The colour of this green wasn't what I expected it to be, but I just decided to go with it because there was nothing else in the palette that I felt like I could use and get the desired look that I wanted to create. I feel like this green definitely could have been a lot more pigmented though, because I can still see my skin colour through it, but I found that packing it on loads and loads didn't really change much, so this is just what we have. Now I'm going to use my Revolution Eye Base Primer in the shade Light, and this is the shade that I'm going to use to cut my crease, just because I'm using quite light colours on my eyes, so I do want them to show as much as possible. Now I'm taking this light green here called Lily Pad, and I'm literally just putting this over all of that eyeshadow base. And now I'm going back in with the first shade Swamp, and I'm just packing it on to the end here and blending it out the way. Now I'm going in with this shimmery green over here, and this shade is called Frog. And I'm starting on the outside of my eye, and I'm just bringing this in. It's not really halfway, but we'll say like maybe a third of the way in is how far I'm going to bring this shade in. I'm just packing it on in a slant. And now just using the other side of that same brush, I'm going into this kind of goldy shade here, and it is called Magic. And I'm just putting this on the rest of that eye area that I haven't touched yet. Okay, now I'm going to use my finger and this shimmery mint shade here called Tiana. And I'm literally just going to tap this on where the two shades meet each other on my lid. And this is just to sort of create a more seamless transition between the two. That's pretty much the base of the eye look done. I'm going to go ahead, jump off camera, do the rest of my makeup, and then we're going to come back and play with this side of the palette and also finish the eye look as well. So just sit tight and I'll be right back. So I've highlighted and contoured and all that stuff, and we're going to go into the blush and highlighter side of this palette. But before we do, just to let you guys know, for anyone who's wondering, I did add my normal black liner to my waterline, and I've also added a line of black liner on my upper lash line as well, just because I'm about to add some lashes and it just helps keep me sane when I do that. So this is the other side of the palette that we're going to be looking at now. So all of these three shades here are blush shades, and then we have three highlighter shades. And looking at it, I think I'm gonna go with this blush and that highlighter as well, just because I don't want to do too much. The colors are a little bit scary, especially for someone like me who literally only got into blushes this year. So I am going to go in with this blush called Almost There, and I've decided to use my finger and just gently tap into it. So I've literally just tapped into it like that, and I'm gonna just tap it onto my cheeks and see how much control I can get over the amount of pigment, because I don't want it to look too crazy because I do need to step out in a couple of minutes. So here goes. Okay, I'm scared. Okay, yeah, using my finger was definitely the right call, because I think the pigment on this is absolutely insane. And all I want is just a light flush of colour, nothing crazy. Just giving myself a little rosy cheek. Just a little something. You guys know that one of my #1 fears with blush is looking clown-like. So I am literally taking so much precaution right now, because just one touch of these blushes, the pigment is absolutely out of this world. Which, as far as the product goes, I guess that's a good thing, but for me, who is terrified of blush, I'm being super cautious. For people who prefer a much more pigmented, deeper blush, obviously you can use this palette to its full potential, but me, I cannot. I literally cannot. I'm going to go in with this highlighter, Tiana's Place. I am a little bit weary. If you guys have watched my other videos, I don't really like the Revolution powder highlighters. The formula just isn't for me, which is why I didn't pick up the individual one like you guys heard me say earlier. And now I'm just taking this brush here. I'm not sure what the intended use of it is, but I'm using it for my cheeks, and I'm just lightly swirling my brush in there and tapping off any excess. This as well is another super pigmented product, so I'm gonna go ahead and see what we get. I think it's workable. It's not something that I would pick up on my own, but since it's conveniently already in the palette, I would feel inclined to use it a little bit more than I would on any other occasion. So that is what the highlighter looks like. It's cute, but truth be told, it does sit pretty ashy for me, so I am going to top it off with some Trophy Wife. I do think Trophy Wife kind of complements this look quite well anyway. But I feel like that highlighter had a little bit of a white cast to it that I'm not a huge fan of, so I am going to bring some gold into it. I've already put the lip topper on my lips and I absolutely love this. This is really, really nice for a lip topper, and as someone who doesn't like lip toppers, it's a good one. I'm going to go ahead and add a lipstick to it. So I'm using the Viva La Vergara lipstick by Charlotte Tilbury, just because I do really like this colour. And I think it goes well with the gloss. Yes, I like that. On a normal day to finish the eye look, I would just go back in with some of the greens that we've used. But you guys do know that I like to be extra on my channel, and we can't have the Princess and the Frog without a little bit of Voodoo. So I am going in with the shade Voodoo right here, and I'm mixing it with Naveen because can't have Princess and the Frog without Prince Naveen either. So I am gonna just blend those two shades together, and these are the shades that I am gonna go ahead and put on my lower lash line, just to be extra, because you guys know I love to be extra. And to finish everything off, I'm going in with the lashes that also came as part of this collection. So this is just what they look like. These were the most dramatic out of all the three sets, so that's why I picked them up. The Beauty and the Beast one, the Beauty and the Beast ones looked okay, but they weren't quite my cup of tea. So I did go for these extra ones right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these on and see what they look like. Alright guys, so the lashes are on, and this is how everything looks now that I'm done. I do like the lashes, they're cute. However, I feel like for the price that I paid, I definitely could have gotten better lashes than these ones. These ones are a little bit pricey for me personally. I do have lashes that I've paid less for that were really nice. It's really weird for me to say this because like I am not a lip topper person, but my favorite product out of everything that I've tried today has been the lip topper. It is absolutely phenomenal. I think the color is really flattering, and it's one of those universal shades. I can't really see this color looking bad on anyone, and you can wear it alone or with a lipstick like I have. But pretty much throughout the video I was wearing it on its own, and it looked really nice as well. It's not sticky, it's got a really nice formula, and it's affordable. This is my must-buy product from this collection, I must say. I don't have everything. Obviously, I didn't try the highlighter out because I knew I kind of wouldn't like it, so I'm not gonna, you know, speak on that. As for the palette, I think the idea is nice and it's really cute as well in terms of having a novelty item, especially if you are a Disney fan. But in terms of an eyeshadow palette, there are far better palettes out there for the same price. The Beauty Bay palettes are £15 and I really, really, really like those right now. These are okay. It definitely could be a lot better. We have seen a lot better from Revolution in terms of their formula. So if you are someone who likes the Patricia Bright palette, the Tammy Clark palette and those kind of formulas, you're not going to get that in this palette. But if you do like the formula from the other Revolution palettes, especially sort of the Night Before Christmas range, then you will like the formula in this palette. It was the colour story that caught my eye out of all of them. I do feel like they could have made the eyeshadow palettes a little bit more universally friendly. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it did feel like the three different palettes were geared towards different skin tones. That's just how I personally feel, which is a bummer, especially like if you're my skin tone and your favourite Disney princess is Cinderella, for example. I feel like that palette wouldn't really cater to you. The pigment in some of the shades, especially the lighter shades, the greens and the yellows that I have showcased, isn't the best. It's wearable, I've made it work, but it's not as good as I have seen in other palettes. But the colours are really, really nice, and Tiana is my favourite Disney princess, so feel like I'm a little bit biased right now. I'm a little bit biased. I like it for that novelty factor, and I do really like the packaging and sort of the thought behind the product. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Stay tuned to my channel to see my opinion on the Beauty and the Beast palette. I will be filming that video very, very soon. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that video. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this video. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, especially in terms of the formula and what you expect from Revolution. I always like reading those kind of comments. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel once again, and I'll see you guys in my next video.